Hi everybody! So I'm gonna do another rebirth journey. So I don't know where to begin with this. Everyone is different and everything I explore is unique. So I'm just waiting for spirit to channel into me so we can get started. Okay, so before I begin this journey, they want me to acknowledge. So I always have spiritual gifts that I take with me on the journey because when I go into your spiritual atmosphere, I don't know what I'm going to see in there. And so these gifts are oftentimes. There's something that is reflective of your soul, and they're beautiful versions of love. Your soul's unique version of love. So I take that with me, and then I use that version of love to ensure my soul sort of like I'm experiencing the highest vibration of love, and then so that protects my soul, and then I also use it to heal your soul. So I don't know why, but I'm really nervous to do this morning. I don't know why. I always get a different feeling before each one, and it often has a reflection of what I'm getting myself into. So I'm not sure what it is with this one. But it is it's hard to speak almost. So okay, so Maria is who I'm doing this for, and the gift that she provided is really sweet. It's gonna be her grandmother, and her grandmother Raquel, and then in the form of a butterfly. And so I can't wait to see what happens. I think that's a really neat gift. Each gift I get is as unique and different and special and totally associated with your unique experience in this present life, and then your unique version of love, and so I love that. Okay, so they're like, do you know what you expect to see on this journey? And I was like, I don't know. I'm worried that there could be some disagreeable images. That just some images are harder to digest than other images. There's a potential that there could be a rape experience, but we don't know for sure what it is. So some people have, Spirit wants me to talk about this. Sometimes we have these sort of odd feelings that sort of follow us through our lives, and we just don't know why. And maybe we just feel like something might have happened, but we don't have a memory of it. And so you sort of live with that, right? And now what? How do you let go of that? How do you find relief from that? How do you create the memory? You know what I mean? So there's potential, this sort of this feeling that there could have been a rape experience in this person's life, but there's no memory to explain why she would feel this way. So thing is, I always go into these things with an open mind. I'm not going to. I know the vulnerability of the human mind just to create something, but I always go in with an open mind and attach to my spiritual expression through the evaluation of things, and then I rely on my spirit guides to ensure that what is shared is only from spirit. So they're like, how do you ensure that happens? And I say, well, I trust you, spirit guides. Show me what is the most valuable wisdom, and then I only speak then what they show me. So that way I can't tamper with it with my own human mind, like my human consciousness. Can't really always define the difference between what is the spirit consciousness and what is the human consciousness, because they can blend together. They could feel a lot alike. The more I do this work, I can tell the difference really easily. But so you're like, so you're gonna turn off your human consciousness now? And it's like, yeah. I'm kind of in between both human consciousness and spirit. That's how I'm channeling them right now, and then also speaking to you. So I need to relax, and then we'll start the journey. Okay. I went to the store. I was out of coffee and then a bunch of stuff. So I had to get groceries, and I got the Snickerdoodle coffee. So I'm gonna try it and see what it's like. There's nothing like a dessert in your coffee is sort of nice that way. It's nice. It's like having a cookie in my coffee. Okay. So they're like, they really want me to relax on this. Here's a reason why I've been feeling nervous. They're only showing me what is like a spotlight in my face right now. But there's no heat to it. It's just bright light and I can't get through it. So I'm gonna just start describing the images that I see, okay, and then we'll just start making sense. So this journey is beginning now for Maria. So okay, so I feel like I'm crawling for some reason, and I still am not able to make sense of everything. I'm just gonna share as it comes to me. It literally looks like there's some green feet on the floor, and I feel like I'm crawling with every bit and ounce of my strength, and I can't even crawl very fast. It's almost like I'm paralyzed, but I'm trying really hard to move. But I'm on my stomach, on the floor, and I see green feet. It literally would look like reptilian feet, but I can't be, because it doesn't look like human feet, and they're green. They have green, scaly skin. But it's just the feet, and the feet aren't looking scaly, but they do look like lizard-like, and they have sort of some sharp sharper, like, these ones aren't like talons like a dinosaur. These ones are more just sort of like really sharp points to sort of stick out. But they're not really long. I'm just waiting right now. Something else is happening. This is a really dynamic picture. So we have a lot of things happening simultaneously. And it's almost like a fun fair of chaos that I can't even make. It's almost like I don't know what they're trying to tell me. So now I'm seeing this girl trying to crawl across the ground, and then the feet, right? So now they take the picture, they blow the picture up, so now I can see everything. Now I see a giant green monster, basically. But it doesn't look like your average reptilian. It's sort of because it almost looks more animal than like lizard, you know. Because it doesn't exactly have the scales, but it has this sort of skin. But then I'm also seeing something falling from the sky and then it being caught in the hands by this green monster. And there's no vibration or energy. I can't understand what he's like in real life, you know. I haven't gone into the picture itself to connect with the different energies. But then there's something being caught. And then it literally is like an angel, like a pretend one, like you might see at like a I don't know, over Christmas, the Jesus story, like at a kids show or something, sort of like cut out of cardboard, and it's sort of like swinging back and forth. So you see there's sort of a huge chaos going on in this picture. So what am I supposed to make sense of? How am I supposed to make sense of this? Spirit says I will make sense of this. So that means you'll make sense of this too. Eventually we'll make sense of this. So let's see what happened. I have to go into the picture and interact. I don't know what any... So I'm literally in the picture. I'm stepping over this girl crawling. It seems kind of rude, but I'm going straight to the green guy first. I just need to understand what his purpose is. So usually I don't see it sort of like... I don't know. He seems like the creepiest part of this picture. So I'm just going to go the creepiest part first and get rid of that, and so that way I can start healing all the other parts, because all the other parts are sort of like a little girl. It's just in different ways, but not exactly free, you know, to make her own decisions or stand up straight, you know what I mean? So I'm going to him. Okay. So, all right, I can't. So while I'm simultaneously doing this journey, other things happen from the spirit realm. Like I get messages on other things that are not related to this. They're like, why do you think it's not related? So basically, I'm trying to evaluate this green guy, while all at the same time, I hear them talking about my snickerdoodle coffee, and then they're putting some sort of like cream and sugar in it. And it's like, what do you, that is the most distracting thing you could possibly do right now as I'm trying to concentrate. And there's sort of like a silly angel standing behind me. And I don't, maybe this is related to Grandma Raquel or something. But it was like they wanted to add more flavor to my coffee. It's like, it doesn't need more flavor. It's perfect the way it is. But it's really beautiful white angel. And she even has, she is like the typical, there's different versions of angels. There's a lot of different kinds of angels. They don't always look like you see from like, you know, in paintings or Bible pictures. They don't all look like that. But she does look like that. She almost could look akin to, she has just long blonde hair and it's straight and it's just beautiful. And then she has a white like robe, just like you would think an angel would wear. And it's just down and it's really loose, and relaxed. And then she has big white wings, and she has sort of like a band around here. And she almost, her eyes, so like everything is white, and I can tell only slightly that she has blonde hair, so there's just a tiny pinch of this sort of little bit of color from her hair, and her eyes are stealthy, like in this blue color, like blue, and then everything else is in the white. She's like piercing blue eyes, like piercing, so piercing blue that the white can't even penetrate the blue color. It's kind of cool. It's almost like a photoshopped picture where it's like this awesome white, sort of glowing white angel, and then like the only real color is just piercing blue eyes. And sort of only this sort of very light, like yellowish color. She's really interesting. Because she's both really profound, sort of silly, but she's also so serious. She's really in the serious. She was really in the silly when she was trying to get my attention, and she did, obviously. And then she's standing right behind me. So I'm simultaneously in two places at once. So I'm also looking at her in my apartment, evaluating her, and then I'm also talking to you. So she hasn't, she really wants to share something, and it hasn't been spoken yet. It's almost like she doesn't want to move her mouth because she's that profound, that she will not move her mouth. She will speak without the movement of mouth, through energy. She's almost derailing in her seriousness. It's almost got a flicker of almost like a darker side to it, but she's not at all dark. She's just very serious, but serious in the light. Like, whatever her duty is, she does that. And she is sort of like, she is just so solid in her ways that she's unwavering. That she would choose not to move her lips or speak, so to speak, like we would be accustomed to. She just seems like she's getting madder at me for some reason. Something's building about her. There's something about this. She's sort of getting really mad. I'm just evaluating. Not everything is what it seems to be, you know. She's sort of like this beautiful angel, and I could feel all of these things about her. But the serious side is sort of breaking the image and changing everything. So all I can do is just wait to see what happens. You never know what's going to happen on these things. They're all different. There's just something really like angry about her. She really is so close to being like a profound angelic being, but she is sort of like she has like a side to her that needs help. That is sort of, but I don't know that she needs help. I don't know if she's just trying to help me understand the meaning. They're like, go to her. Because I'm seeing all the ground break away. Everything is crumbling away, and so we're just sort of floating in a void. We're just sort of suspended, and then you don't float, you're just suspended. You just choose to go, you just choose to fly, or however you want to get from place to place. We're just suspended. Floating is sort of like I think floating is like bubbles in the air, and we're not. We're just suspended. We haven't chosen what we're going to do yet. And so the ground is breaking away, and everything is getting very dark around us. Like there's a really terrible thing about to happen. There's some sort of giant, sort of squid-like thing coming out of the ground. And I could just see its sort of tentacles coming up, and I can kind of see the basement of this dark, sort of like a cave. All the walls are just busted and crumbled down, but I could see sort of are like dark walls. And she and I are still suspended there. She really wants to show this open space. And she really wants me to do my work here. She honestly is an angel guide, but she speaks very differently from other angels. That's just the whole point. She uses other forms of communication, just to get a point across. I don't think she's evil or anything. She just speaks differently. She wants to reveal this space. They're like, you need to go really deep for Maria to find these spaces. We'll come back to the image at the beginning, okay? So I'm just gonna fly down there and see it's really awful down here. Even the ground just feels really disturbed. This is again very real about human women specifically. We hold memories in other places than just our brains. Our memories are actually stored in parts of our body too, especially where there's been damage, where we feel there's something incorrect that has happened to us. Now suddenly it stores a memory there. So it literally feels like I'm in a very disturbed, dark space that is an expression of a divine female space. And there's literally like a giant octopus down here, and it's got like 100 arms, and it's sort of unrooting out of the ground and trying to grab me. It's just a giant, but it's an expression of the divine and infinite spiritual universe. This is. So it has its own, this is how it chooses to be a representation of itself. This is its choice, this is how it chooses to be a reflection of its identity. So I go to it to calm it down. So it's calmed down, and there's a man standing next to it. There's two simultaneous pictures. There's one of this sort of creature with all the arms that is sort of like in a relaxed state. The arms aren't trying to get me. While there's simultaneously another picture here. Everything is getting much, much darker. And it's just a guy, just a regular old guy. And he's just sort of right there. So all I can do is wait. Sometimes these things, it's like, come on, can you please just give me something to go by already? Because there's just so many pictures. They're saying all these images are holding value, and their meaning will be unrooted, so to speak. you're getting to the root of the problem. And sometimes what you find at the surface is not going to make sense of the deepest problems. It's sort of like, I always think of it like that picture, where you have sort of like an iceberg at the top, but then the picture shows you what's underneath. It's almost like it goes down for miles. And so if you only skim the top, you're never going to see what is really in the depths of the image. And so we're getting deeper into it. And it's just so filled with darkness. It is real. The energy is really altering. They're like, stay with it, Abby. You're doing great. They're like reassuring me that everything is right. I feel sort of like I'm falling asleep in the darkness, and the darkness is spinning around. And all I can feel or see is dark dust kicked up all around me. We're waiting. There's some parts of the soul that have been left in some very dark places. Sort of like soul fragments or echoes of soul pieces. And I honestly, I'll tell you what, that you can have a lot of soul fragments. You could have an infinite number of soul fragments, and they sort of get caught in every echo of nightmare your soul has ever endured over lifetimes. And that is why doing these rebirth journeys are so important, because it heals the most painful wounds of the soul, and then it actually is sort of like taking your soul to the cleaners and cleaning out everything so you can re-solidify all the soul fragment pieces. And that they aren't saying that there was ever, they haven't said it yet whether or not there was a rape experience, but they are revealing that she does have soul fragments in very dark places, and I need to collect them. And all I can say is this dark place where I feel like I'm falling asleep with all this dark dust coming and just swirling everywhere is a reflection of a place where her soul is. I can just feel that inside, that is the truth, although I can't see anything but swirling dark dust. And it's clumpy. It's like snow, or like ash or something, and it's black. And it's swirling around like a tornado, but it's everywhere, like thick snowflakes of it everywhere, just sort of blowing around. I have to do something because I'm just seeing everything. I'm not altering or healing as of yet. So they're just taking me to these places. So I'm just going to so we have 3 places, okay? And I got to do this for my human mind. So each one's different. So in this one, I need to keep track of the different sort of storage places. We have this first image, right, where she's trying to crawl to get somewhere. We see this sort of green legs, and then it turns into like a green monster catching a girl falling from the sky, who's identical to the girl who's sort of crawling. And then we have like an angel swinging back and forth in the background, like it's a play or something. And then now we have another picture of this sort of massive octopus with 100 arms just trying to grab. And this sort of man. I have to repeat all this or I'll forget. And then we have, now it's just, we're even deeper than all of this stuff. And we're literally just sort of, it's almost like the sensation of giving up just before you die. It's sort of like you're struggling so hard, and then now you're at a point, and you're just sort of like, you don't care what happens, and if what happens is death, then so be it. That is the sensation of this place with the dark swirling. It just feels like the end of the line, but death never comes, so you're just waiting for eternity in this state of being, and it's terrible. It's like a memory that never went away, and therefore it hasn't, and so now we have this sort of soul fragment stuck in this memory, and it's bad. So we have these 3 compartments that I'll need to focus on. sometimes the work is in these compartments and I have to just see them all, and then I have to go to each one individually. Sometimes I have to heal some of the deeper ones before I can heal the surface ones. So that would be the case here. So I'm going to just put this, I'm just going to stop this, and then, because I just don't want these to get really long. So I'm just going to stop it here, and then we'll start it. I don't know if that's a good idea, because I just described all the rooms. All right, I'm going to stop and I'll come right back.